If Allah wakes you up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it is not random, it is not insomnia, it is not just another restless night. Before the moon is sighted, before the masjids fill and the Qur'an echoes through the night, Allah is already calling you. And if you don't understand why, Ramadan may come and go, and you will miss the invitation hidden in your own sleeplessness. Tonight, we are not talking about sleep cycles. We are talking about why your soul is being shaken awake. By the end of this reminder, you will understand what those early hours really mean and how to enter Ramadan not just fasting, but transformed. Because Ramadan does not magically change people. It reveals them. Ramadan is not a switch, it is a mirror. And what it reflects depends on what is already inside you. My beloved brothers and sisters, Ramadan is a guest, and every honored guest deserves preparation. But here is the truth we don't like to admit. Ramadan does not build what isn't there. It amplifies what already exists in your heart. If your heart is distracted, Ramadan will amplify distraction. If your heart is attached to dunya, Ramadan will feel heavy. If your heart is sincere, Ramadan will feel like light pouring into light. So let me ask you something deeply personal. If Ramadan entered your heart tonight, what would it find? Would it find resentment? Would it find pride? Would it find a heart exhausted from chasing validation? Would it find a soul numb from constant scrolling and comparison? Or would it find longing, softness, hunger for Allah? Preparation does not begin when the moon is sighted. It begins the moment you are woken up in the darkness and your eyes open for no reason. Because maybe there is a reason. Maybe Allah is gently asking you, are you ready? But before we talk about readiness, we must talk about clutter. Because even the most beautiful guest cannot enter a room that is suffocating. Many of us are not sinful in dramatic ways. We are just numb. And numbness is more dangerous than sin. Sin hurts, numbness doesn't. Sin can make you cry. Numbness makes you scroll. You pray, but you feel nothing. You make dua, but it feels mechanical. You hear Qur'an, but it doesn't move you. And you tell yourself, it's fine. I'm still practicing. But deep down, something feels off. This is the clutter of the heart. Attachment to dunya. Constant anxiety about risks, comparing your life to curated lives on screens, silent jealousy, subtle pride, spiritual complacency. A heart overstimulated by noise cannot recognize the whisper of Allah. Imagine a room filled with boxes, old grudges in one corner, unresolved guilt in another, hours of mindless scrolling piled against the walls, ego sitting comfortably in the center. And then Ramadan knocks. Where will it sit? Numbness does not disappear overnight. Hardness does not melt. Because a calendar changes, it softens slowly, deliberately, intentionally. 10 minutes of silent reflection every day. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. A private dua before sleep. Not a long one. Just honest. Ya Allah, soften my heart, reducing your scrolling time, even by 15 minutes, and replacing it with istighfar, writing one sincere repentance every night, not dramatic, not performative, just between you and Allah. These are not grand gestures. They are dust cloths, wiping, slowly, gently, opening a window that has been shut for years. And as light begins to enter, you will notice something. Your chest feels lighter. Your prayer feels different. Your tears come easier. But even a clean room means nothing if there are stains we refuse to wash, because decluttering is not enough. There are sins we carry quietly, and we hope Ramadan will erase them without us ever confronting them. We count deeds, but we avoid repentance. We plan our khatams. We schedule our tarawih. We organize charity, but we postpone tawbah. My beloved brothers and sisters, Repentance comes before reward. Unrepented sins do not invalidate your worship, but they weigh it down. They weigh down the heart. And khushu cannot bloom in a hardened heart. There are the obvious sins, and then there are the normalized ones. Gossip disguised as concern, delayed prayers excused by busyness, harsh words justified by stress, jealousy hidden behind sarcasm. Private habits we know displease Allah, and then there are sins involving others. Broken trusts, unpaid debts, unsent apologies, huquq al-abad. These are heavier than we think. You can fast, you can pray, you can give charity, but if someone's right is hanging on your neck, it will feel heavy. Tawbah is not just saying astaghfirullah. It is regret that stings. It is resolve that shifts behavior. It is corrective action when possible. It is sending that message, making that call, returning that money, admitting that wrong, not because you are afraid of punishment, but because you want to enter Ramadan light. And here is the mercy you must never forget. Allah is not waiting to reject you. He is waiting to cleanse you. He is not counting your failures to shame you. He is offering you a door to lift them. His mercy is vast, wider than your worst mistake, deeper than your longest habit. When He wakes you in the last third of the night, it is not to remind you how far you've fallen. It is to show you how close He is. Imagine entering Ramadan, not dragging regret behind you, but having faced it, not hiding sins in the shadows, but having exposed them to the light of Tawbah. Imagine walking into the first night of Taraweeh, light, clean, humbled, hopeful, your heart no longer cluttered, your chest no longer heavy, just you and Allah. But this is only the beginning, because preparation is not just about removing darkness. It is about building something stronger than before. And in the next step, we will go even deeper. Because what Allah is doing when He wakes you between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is more powerful than you think. But there is something even more painful than entering Ramadan with sins, entering it disconnected from the Qur'an. Because sins can be forgiven, but distance from the Qur'an is distance from the very words that were sent to heal you. Ramadan is the month of the Qur'an. It was revealed in this month. Not as a ritual, not as background sound, but as light. And your heart, whether you realize it or not, was designed to respond to it. There is something inside you that recognizes it, even if you have been distant, even if it has been years. But here is what many people experience. Ramadan comes, suddenly they go from 0 to 1 juz a day, from occasional recitation to hours of Taraweeh, from silence to overwhelming exposure. And instead of feeling uplifted, they feel heavy. Why? Because intensity without familiarity overwhelms the neglected heart. If a room has been closed for years, you don't throw open every window at once. You let the light in gradually. Familiarity must come before intensity. If you want Ramadan to feel different this year, start now, not with pressure, with presence. Half a page a day. That's it. Not to finish, not to compete, not to post about it, just to reconnect. Read slowly, even if it takes 10 minutes, even if you only understand one verse. Especially if you only understand one verse. Because completion is not the goal. Transformation is the goal. You can finish the entire Qur'an and remain unchanged. Or you can sit with one ayah and let it change the direction of your life. Listen daily, even while driving. Let the sound of the Qur'an become familiar again. Let your heart recognize its rhythm. Take one verse that moves you, write it down. Ask yourself, what is Allah saying to me through this? Make it personal, because it is. The Qur'an was not revealed to impress you, it was revealed to guide you. And when Ramadan arrives and the recitation fills the masjid, you won't feel like a stranger. You will feel like someone returning home. But even the Qur'an flows more beautifully in a heart free from resentment. Because sometimes the heaviness we feel in worship is not from distance alone, it is from division, grudges that linger silently, family tensions that everyone pretends are normal, unspoken conflicts that sit at the dinner table, pride that says, let them come to me first. And we carry it into prayer, into dua, into Ramadan. There is a concept in our tradition that when hearts are divided, deeds can be paused, not rejected, but suspended. Imagine standing in Taraweeh while bitterness sits quietly inside you. Imagine raising your hands in dua while refusing to lower them in humility to someone you hurt. The weight of unresolved conflict is heavier than we admit. It shows up in subtle ways, in the tightness of your chest, in the coldness of your tone, in the distance inside your own home. A house filled with tension feels different. You can sense it the moment you walk in. Now imagine a home filled with sakina, not perfection, peace, soft voices, gentle hearts, mutual effort. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is emotional freedom. And you don't reconcile for your ego. You reconcile for Allah. Make sincere dua for the one who hurt you. Even if your heart resists, especially if it resists, send a simple message. It doesn't need paragraphs. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're well. I've been reflecting and I want peace between us. Apologize where needed, even if you think you were mostly right. Restore rights. Return honor. Because walking into Ramadan with a peaceful home is a gift. Walking into Ramadan with a softened heart is a gift. Walking into Ramadan with no hidden grudges is freedom. But preparation is not only spiritual, it is physical. Ramadan is not just an emotional experience, it is discipline. And discipline does not appear overnight. Athletes train before competition. They don't wait for the championship to prepare their muscles. Ramadan is your spiritual championship. If your sleep routine is chaotic now, suhoor will feel like punishment. If fajr is inconsistent now, Ramadan fajr will feel heavier. If your phone controls you now, it will control you in Ramadan. If your tongue is unrestrained now, fasting will expose it. Ramadan strengthens what already exists. If discipline is absent before Ramadan, struggle increases during it. So train gently, sleep a little earlier, wake for Fajr consistently. Even if you struggle, reduce late night scrolling by 20 minutes. Moderate your food. You don't need extreme diets, just awareness. Control the tongue intentionally for 1 hour a day. No gossip, no sarcasm, no complaints. Try voluntary fasting, Mondays or Thursdays, not to exhaust yourself, but to remind your body what restraint feels like. Consistency over intensity, small habits, sustained effort, because none of this matters if Ramadan ends and we return to who we were. And this is where everything shifts. Ramadan is not a season. It is a turning point. What if this Ramadan was not just another cycle? What if this was the Ramadan written in your destiny? The one that broke a major sin permanently. The one that anchored a habit you never abandoned. The Prophet just told us that actions are judged by intentions, not by aesthetics, not by numbers, by intention. So don't enter Ramadan with vague hopes. Be specific. Choose one major sin, name it, decide, after this Ramadan, I am done. Choose one habit, 2 rak'ah daily after Ramadan, no matter what. A small monthly charity, even if it's hidden and tiny. 1 page of Qur'an daily, even after Eid. One relationship you will maintain gently. Clarity creates gravity. Vague goals dissolve. Clear intentions transform. What if this was the Ramadan that changed your trajectory? What if years from now, you look back and say, that was the one? Not because you finished more, but because you became different. My beloved brothers and sisters, if Allah is waking you between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., It may not be to disrupt your sleep. It may be to prepare your soul, to soften you, to cleanse you, to call you closer. So we ask you, Ya Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan. Do not let us be among those who planned for it, but never saw it. Let us enter it light. Let us enter it clean. Let us enter it reconciled. Let us enter it disciplined. Let us enter it connected to your book. And Ya Allah, do not let us leave Ramadan unchanged. Let it not end something beautiful. Let it begin something powerful. Let it be the month that rewrote our story. Let it be the month that brought us back to you. And when Ramadan finally leaves, let it leave behind hearts that no longer recognize the darkness they once carried. Ameen.